Hey everyone, I am Raphi Salem, back with another edition of Let's Talk with Let's Talk with F1IT Partners. So William Kohl, president of F1IT, how are you doing this morning?
Doing really good. And as we mentioned, it's already April, so it's surprising, but I welcome the better weather.
And today on our show, we have the one and only Jinesh Patel. Jinesh, how are you doing?
Good, doing good. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
Jinesh, are you the CEO, president, founder? Like, what's your title at UptimeHealth?
Yeah, I'm one of the two co-founders, but my, I guess, working title is CEO. Since everyone wears so many hats, it's hard to just say one person runs everything.
Yes, well, welcome to the show. And just to kick things off, please tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about and your background, and then we'll get into UptimeHealth itself.
Yeah, I'm Jinesh Patel. My background is actually in biomedical engineering. I did some device design invention early on, and then I went on to manage equipment for large health systems and ran the largest healthcare group in Austin, Texas. And now I formed a company with a colleague of mine, Bill Olson, called UptimeHealth. And our goal is to take what we learned in that industry and give it to the outpatient, ambulatory, and dental world.
Amazing. What year did you start up?
So we technically were founded on paper in 2018. We launched our product end of 2019, so November, December. So it wasn't the best time to launch if you know, like 3 months later, what exactly happened.
I'm sorry, what happened?
Yeah, you probably don't know. It's a very obscure thing, just affected a few people, but yeah.
Incredible. We're always in awe of startups before, during, and after pandemics. So that's perfect timing. And why don't we just jump right into it? William, did you or did you not meet Jinesh at the Greater New York Dental Meeting?
Yeah, we met over there, kind of just doing the rounds around the meeting. Probably on one of the slower days of the meeting. What was good about that is I had the opportunity to walk around and meet some really great people, and we had a particular eye on compliance. As we learn a little bit more about some of the gaps that our customers may have. Just the word compliance was like, ooh, okay, let's see what they're all about. And I went over and I was really surprised by their offering. It seems like something that not a lot of people are focused on. So again, it was great to meet at the Greater New York.
That's great. Jinesh, what was your impression? I mean, like we were joking around or not joking around, the global pandemic and COVID had an extreme effect on attendance and on the whole entire atmosphere around the Greater New York Dental Meeting last November. How did the show go for you? Were your expectations met? And what was your, taking away from that show?
Yeah, so this was actually our first one to go to. We didn't really know what to expect. After we'd gone to market, obviously the world shut down for a little bit, so the conferences weren't there. So we didn't go in with much in terms of expectation. We just didn't know how many people were going to show up. Like you said, we've been hearing through the ethos that, some people weren't coming because Omicron was coming out, or some people weren't coming because of the mandates that were required in New York relative to where they were from. And so we knew there was probably going to be a little less people. So other than that, we had no idea from a sales standpoint or education standpoint or a buzz standpoint of what we could create for our company. But I was glad, like Will said, that we could walk around, use that time to probably go meet as many other companies that are doing very cool stuff that we wouldn't have had time for otherwise. So there was definitely benefit in that. And that's what I was really appreciative of, Will coming over and us talking, and definitely interested in partnering with you guys.
So let's talk a little bit more about UptimeHealth itself. You started up in 2018. Why don't you give us a little background of the company and tell us how things are going before, during, and after that Greater New York Dental Meeting?
Yeah, so our company, we really work with Well, what we're finding is the job title of facilities managers or, operations managers within dental groups or even urgent care groups, but we're really focused on dental right now. And we help them understand what they own, how to best manage it to keep it from breaking down. And if it does break down, how to easily dispatch their technicians and vendors and track them like a Domino's pizza tracker through their process of servicing the equipment. And lastly, we mine that data to let them know when they should proactively replace equipment instead of continuing to repair old or financially nonsensical repairs that don't make sense based on the age of the equipment or how much they've already sunk into the device. So the goal is just automating that side of their processes so they can focus on the other things that they're actually good at.
So, William, let's talk a little bit about technology itself. F1IT has been in business for over 10 years, dealing with technology from startup to maintenance to the future, compliance, security, and everything else. I'd love to hear from your perspective about UptimeHealth, the technology involved, and what it takes for F1IT to support, maintain, and partner with other companies.
Sure. I mean, technology as a whole is becoming more and more part of our lives, both personally and professionally. And I just thought it was pretty amazing to see the melding of that, having equipment tracking and everything in a, all-in-one interface and portal for our customers. Again, I was kind of almost surprised by the need of the surprised and not surprised. I was like, why didn't I think of that before? But there's so much to do with compliance in regards to medical equipment, whether it be sterilizers or x-ray equipment or and any of those things, even our equipment. But I think it was fantastic how Uptime put it all together. And one of the most fantastic things that I didn't even know you can do this was kind of have like almost like a technician marketplace from what I saw. Unbelievable. When something goes down, or even when it doesn't go down, it's due for an audit or a some kind of maintenance task. You have access to a technical marketplace where you can get a support technician or even favorite one of them that I just thought that was incredibly important to have for our customers. Why spend time digging around, asking different people, like, who do I get to fix this? Do I use Google? Like, who is this guy? And they're vetted already, and they're ready to help. And of course, like the name suggests, keep up with the uptime of the practice rather than getting stuck with down equipment or even using your staff hours to find out solutions.
So, Jinesh, there are so many aspects to startups and companies and software companies and technology companies. Tell me a little bit about the people involved, the technology, how things are going. It's April. It's already second quarter. April. I mean, we're just all blown away by, we can't believe it. But get into the weeds a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about Uptime and where you are right now.
Yeah, I mean, we've been growing. We've tripled every year since we've started. I know that means nothing with small numbers, but at the end of the day, it's growth to us, and it shows that people are continuing to, really see what we're doing and value it. For our team, we're about 16 people full time. Most still are engineers and software engineers, and the rest are people now on sales, operations. We're learning how to support an infrastructure of a large community of clients. And the biggest thing for us this year is now that we're starting to come out of at least a lot of the lulls of the pandemic and the uncertainties. At least it feels less uncertain now, but we don't know what's coming in the future. We're also seeing that other partners or other ecosystem players are starting to look at us now that we've been educating a little bit. We've been out to these conferences, and we're starting to speak with some of the biggest players in the equipment distribution spaces and the service groups, because what they see is we are a value add to what they're already doing. We have the Bencos, Henry Scheins, Pattersons of the world who are selling equipment at a large rate. And a lot of times they're trying to educate their clients on what to do from a compliance perspective, as Will mentioned. Are you doing your spore samples? Are you cleaning your water lines? Are you doing all these other things? And they give them all these sheets and tools and manuals to really support them. But their clients are so busy, they're not going to read these things or really know how to implement them. They're like, thanks for this.
30-page manuals.
And then they just go put it on the shelf, and then they go back to their day. So what we want to do is say, we will help them protect this large capital investment they just made and automate it and really be that partner player that they've been looking for this entire time. So I think for us, it's this change of messaging that people in the entire ecosystem are learning how we can all play together. Even with you guys, partnering with very cool companies that are already supporting clients in a different way, but we're just additive. And that's what we want to be. And we're learning that that's who we are, is an additive player to everybody in the ecosystem.
Amazing. That really sounds great. And you touched upon this, but let's segue into the future. What are your plans for, let's talk about a sneak peek. What are your plans for the rest of the year and beyond for UptimeHealth?
Yeah, and I know we're talking about this a little bit before the call, but what we're learning is the clients that we're selling into are these large DSO practices that really are gravitating to what we're doing because they're trying to create a sense of standardization, especially as they roll up and aggregate more clinics. So as we learned who we're selling to, which are now named, facilities managers, they are in charge of everything related to that facility, as well as everything inside that building, equipment related, that's related to care. And they are already using some other tools to manage the plumbing request or the broken tiles in the ceiling request and the change this light bulb. But that same tool, they're trying their hardest to make it work for how do we manage the medical equipment, which is a very specific, industry thing that can't be generically applied across, facilities management software. So what we're looking at in the future is releasing a way for them to actually manage their facilities stuff on top of their medical equipment. So we're actually going the other way. So we're already doing, best in class equipment management. We're saying, well, you can also manage your other facilities requests here, so you can get rid of that other software. And our goal is to be a single, point of view for everyone who's in that role. So I'd say that's one of the biggest things coming out, and we should launch that by mid-May. That's already on our target. And then the last thing I think will be fun is, since we already predict in this report when people should be replacing, or predict is not the best word, I don't want to misrepresent, we're suggesting and recommending people replace things or put them on a watch list or a no action list. Now, when someone clicks a request repair button, it will give them that recommendation in real time. Instead of them having to go back to that report, it'll say, for this device, are you sure you want to dispatch that technician? Because it can cost you $600, but this is already 10 years old. You've already depreciated this amount. You've already spent $2,000 on this device, and another one only costs, $3,000. So maybe this is that moment in time where you don't repair it, you scrap it, and you buy another one. And so our hope is to continue to give real-time analytics that are super supportive of somebody in these decision-making processes.
That's truly amazing. So just to sum it all up, what would be the one takeaway that you would recommend to anyone watching today?
I think it's just think about your equipment different than you think about your facilities. You need both plus providers to run a practice. So you need all three to work together, but they're all independently important. And at the end of the day, if your compressor goes down, your entire office is down. So take the time to manage it and really think about it and take care of these devices that could be critically important to your revenue in the event that they fail. And that's the one thing I just want people to realize is at the end of the day, I know you expect your car to turn on every day when you go and try and drive your car. You just expect it to happen. But at the end, you still need to make sure you're getting it inspected, changing the oil, putting in gas. There's all these things that help it turn on every day. So don't forget your medical equipment basically operates the same way. There's things you need to do to it to make sure it turns on every day.
Jinesh, thank you so much. That was really insightful. William, how do you feel after that? It's sort of like, hey, we've been doing something right.
Well, honestly, I always get excited actually. You know, kind of in our constant quest to allow our customers to focus on growth and their, you know, their patients' experience. You know, we've come across some really amazing things and specialized tools to, you know, help them do that and maintain their uptime, as, you know, the name here suggests. But you know, it really adds to the success of every practice that we work with. When we bring everything together, everything is kind of cohesive and easy to use and saves time. I get excited about that kind of thing. So again, it was fantastic to learn about uptime, and of course to meet Jinesh and the team. And I'm really excited for what the future brings.
Yeah. And William, just to wrap things up, I believe we have a trade show coming up next week. So why don't you tell people about the Long Island Dental Meeting?
Yeah, we'll be there at booth 38. It's in Melville, I believe, in Long Island, and yeah, it's already next week. I can't believe that. But
as we said, it's
hope
April.
to see everyone there. It is April.
And
hope to see everyone there.
Yeah, and Jinesh, any upcoming trade shows or conferences coming up?
Yeah, I think we just went through like back to back weekends for like 5 or 6 weekends. So this is a little bit of a month of rest for the team, or else we'd probably be at the Long Island one like Will and just. But I think our next one's going to be CDA, and then after that, probably going to Amplify in Dykema, and those are going to be good. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, once again, Jinesh Patel, co-founder as well as current CEO of UptimeHealth, thank you very much for joining us today. William Kohl, president of F1IT, thank you for your time this morning. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the next show.
Wonderful. Thanks for having us, and appreciate everything you're doing to educate the industry and like all the work that you guys do to keep people's equipment up and running too.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Bye, guys.